Deep in the shadows, I know it's hard to put one foot in front of the other.
Hi guys, CeeChronicles here. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I post fragrance content and would very much appreciate it if you did consider subscribing. Now, to those who are returning, thank you so much for the continued support. I'm here to drop a quick my quick take on the 3 Ophidian fragrances that were released by Paris Corner. I did promise to bring these ones, I think probably a month ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, but I have just been featuring them in other videos. And I thought, okay, I might actually forget to bring these while they're still fairly new, because I think these are less than 2 months old. Okay, so I have Ophidian Mango Bliss, and I have Ophidian Black Cherry, as well as Ophidian Sweet Surrender. I love the bottles, guys. I don't have a problem with how the bottles look. For those who are having a problem with how the bottles look because of the snakes, but I don't have a problem with that. The only problem I'm actually having with these bottles is it looks like I'm gonna have to look for maybe a super stickier glue to maybe get this to hold on to the plastic part, because the bottles themselves, when I came with them here, I did tell you that they were very tight, and what's happening is you end up yanking the whole top, and then the plastic thing separates from the top. But that is the only thing that I can fault when it comes to these fragrances. Now, I'm going to start, guys, with Mango Bliss, the one that a lot of you guys are excited about, simply because it does draw inspiration from God of Fire. This is what I was talking about. You see, now that one's gone as well. It wasn't like that, but it is what it is. I'm going to have to find and to remove this is a problem. I'm gonna have to find some sort of stronger glue or something that I can, possibly use to make sure that my caps remain in place. All right, so this is Mango Bliss, right? This one got a lot of people excited. If it's shaky, it's because I've removed that plastic part. This got a lot of people excited because it was a DNA that hadn't been played around a lot with, especially in the Middle Eastern, fragrance houses, because there are some DNAs that keep coming back and coming back. So I personally don't have a problem with Mango Bliss. I love it, but I'm here to caution, those who have like maybe a young nose or an inexperienced nose, that this is not going to give you a fruity, like a typical fruity, even tropical, juicy mango style of fragrance. It does have the mango there at the top, but the mango quickly then starts to interpret as though it's green, as though it's an unripened mango. I think it is because of the inclusion of the ginger and the lemon. Ginger adds fizziness to this, but that lemon kick there kind of takes it on a green direction. And as if that's not enough, there's cypriol oil that joins in the mix there, as well as some woods. But in terms of interpreting that God of Fire by Stephen Herbert Lucas, I would say you wouldn't be far off, if you purchase this one because you love that particular fragrance. It is beautifully made, but very sophisticated, not for the inexperienced nose, if I may say it. It doesn't come across as a juicy mango to me. Right, next one is going to be this one. I'm just going to put the caps loosely there just so that we don't keep having the same thing or discussing the same thing. Black Cherry, right? Black Cherry was one that I was very excited about because I personally love cherry, in fragrances, and also depending on how the cherry, interprets. But sometimes cherry can interpret as cough syrupy, it can even interpret as colorish, it can interpret as nutty. Unless you're going to get a nutty cherry, a black cherry, a dark cherry, that is what I'm trying to say. But it also mixes with some woods, some tonka, and some vetiver. And the tonka in here is sweet. The only thing or only reason why I am not raving a lot about this one is it does give us that familiar DNA that you're going to get in Lost Cherry. You're going to get the same DNA in Love First Burning Cherry. Although I think personally in this one, because I do get somewhat of a thickened, really like a dark, even underlying smoky. Not to say I would class this as a smoky scent, but what I get in like a fragrance that's bordering on thickened, very rich there, I would say probably maybe this is something along the lines of Electric Cherry or the other flankers, without necessarily being an outright, clone of say Lost Cherry or Love First Burning Cherry. However, However, if you love those fragrances, that style of DNA, you are going to love this one. So unfortunately, it is one that is not my favorite of the three because it was a DNA that I thought was a little bit washed out. But of course, if you haven't put your nose on that DNA, you will know that it is a fantastic DNA. But it has been, a lot of houses have put their hands on it and tried, their own renditions and stuff. So this is what I get from Black Cherry. In terms of longevity, guys, I'm really sorry. I think I'm going to talk about the longevity of them in the end so that I don't confuse you. So yes, this one vibes in that way that you've got to love cherry for you to appreciate this nutty accord style of fragrances. That is what you're going to get. An almondy wrap up of a fragrance is what Black Cherry is all about. And the last one in the Ophidian range that I do have, and I'm going to say for now, because chances are Paris Corner probably going to drop more on this line. Okay, the last one is Sweet Surrender. This one also gave me a familiar DNA, but I don't have a problem with the twist that they put onto this particular Sweet Surrender, right? This one has that Billie Eilish DNA. If you have used that, you would mistakenly identify this the minute you spray it. Okay, so this is exactly what they were going for. However, I do feel as though this one is very sweetened there, especially on the sugar accord. It kind of feels, exactly as though you were smelling some sugar. Okay, it has a prominent sugar note. I think what they did in this is a note switch because I do have the Eilish and I do have the Nebraska, and now I have this one. But as I said in previous videos, I am liking this one more because the sugar is very heightened there, more than how the cacao is heightened in Nebraska. Because cacao in itself, the way it's done in Nebraska, as I said in an earlier video, was it became one of those fragrances that I really got tired of. It was a fragrance that I really cannot move past the cacao. Initially, when I sprayed it, when I got it off the store, it was, a fantastic DNA to my nose until I just saw, until I got to a point where I could hardly tell the transitioning of that fragrance from one phase to another. It just ended up becoming cacao, a little bit of some berries, but mostly cacao with a sweetness. Now with this one, I do pick up more of that sweet sugar, even sugar cane feel. When I opened this fragrance for the very first time, I was actually torn in between thinking that this would be along the lines of Baby Cat or that Latafa that they gave us, Mahajan Gold, because if you've used Mahajan Gold, you will know that it has like a prominent sugarcane sort of like note. That's how the sugar interprets in this, and I think it's more heightened than the cacao itself. Not that you're not going to get the cacao, guys. Don't get me twisted there. You will get the cacao, but it doesn't make it all about like a cacao journey to an extent that it becomes so linear in just being the cacao. This, you will get the presentation on a sugar note. If you like sugary sweet fragrances, candy sweet fragrances, that's what you're going to get. And then it transitions into the cacao, and then it has the citruses there weighing in and kind of crisping it up, and then moves to that vanilla stage and stuff. So I think I get a lot of pages in this than I do get from the Nebraska or from the actual Eilish itself. So to me, it kind of feels like a fusion between the two fragrances. Not that they're from the same house. I mean, it started with Billie Eilish, right? Dropping her Eilish fragrance, and of course that DNA was then played around with other houses. So I'm just simply explaining and comparing in case you want to know whether it's really worth dropping your coins on Sweet Surrender. I'm gonna say if I were to be told to choose which one to stay with, I would possibly choose this one out of the three. That's basically what this whole yapping was all about. All right, so now back to the longevity. I'm gonna give tops in terms of longevity to this Mango Bliss, and I'm going to give it its accolade for being a fragrance that is non-linear. So you're gonna get that mango burst, and then you think, okay, I think I've figured it out, and then it starts to give you the twists and turns, the spiciness of that ginger, the greenness of that lemon, and the citric sourness there, and it starts to turn a little bit herbaceous, and you're like, oh my god, this has like a lot of things going on there. So I'm gonna give it's 2 Paris Corner on Mango Bliss for the uniqueness, for going for a DNA that's not exactly washed up, for interpreting that DNA fairly well, and for giving us a fragrance that also has a lasting power to match, because when a fragrance is fruity scented, sometimes it can lack in lasting power. This on 10-15 sprays can last potentially till the next wash. And the next one I'm going to give an accolade for having a decent lasting power is going to be Sweet Surrender. You are going to be wrapped up in the sweetness at least 6 to 7 hours of the day. Yummy style of fragrance, warm, comforting scent there. So 6 hours, prominent is decent. Pushing to 8 hours where it fades, that's okay, to me, for this style of DNA. So this is not bad in terms of lasting power, and this is not bad in terms of how it interprets. I really, really like this one. So this is going to be my second favorite. And then the least favorite is going to be this one, right? And honestly speaking, I did not bother checking on how the lasting power in this vibes, because the minute I got that lost cherry vibe, a little bit of a smokiness there, a dark cherry there, to an extent, I was like, okay, I think I figured this one out. And I'm not gonna lie to you and say I wore it and it lost the whole day or whatever it is, but if you like cherry scented fragrances, absolutely grab this one. You are going to like it. But it does vibe a lot like it's going for the lost cherry, and it's a flankers. So that is what I can say, guys, about the Ophidian 3 that I have in my collection. I do hope that they bring us a lot more. But having said that, I do hope that they do work on the tops, because these tops are absolutely beautiful. But it does look like the manufacturer just went overboard, making it such that this plastic is super, super tight on the actual atomizer, to an extent that it's sticks onto the atomizer and you're left with just the cap on its own there, making it a little bit odd. And I'm not sure whether I'm even going to be able to work around it, because even if I get the tightest glue, maybe that will be the problem that I will still keep having with these bottles. But nonetheless, it's not bad. Beautiful presentation overall. CeeChronicles is my name. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's meet in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts about this line. Do you have it? Is it something that is you're looking at purchasing? I would love to interact with you in the comment section. While you're at it, remember to turn on post notifications. That way, guys, you get to be notified anytime I upload a video. Like and share this one, and remember that smelling good is a form of good manners. Cheers.